Hello, hello, hello. Good evening. Welcome back to the one and only Chatterbox with King Jacob, and I am yours truly, the host of the evening, King Jacob. So tonight we're going to be talking about life issues, life experiences, and how you overcome the obstacles and challenges of life and move to the next level. So you can follow your purpose and do what God has designed for you to do and walk that line that God has designed. So I am joined tonight by none other than, Coach Randy, life coach, businessman, social influencer, a listening ear for those who can navigate through life, just like we a life tour guide, like our grandparents guided us. Sometimes, the guidance that we need don't have to come from family members. It has to come from an outside source on the outside looking in so they can give you their honest and their bluntly opinion. And so, there won't be no feelings involved because with family members, they'll tell us what it is, but they still sugarcoat it sometimes because they don't want those feelings hurt. So none other than Coach Randy. What's up, man?
What's going on, King? It's a pleasure to meet you, sir. It's a pleasure. I'm looking forward to this conversation, I tell you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So for the audience that don't know, who is Coach Randy?
Oh wow. Well, Coach Randy, first and foremost, hey, I'm a man that cannot survive or withhold the roles that are put on me without standing in my own truth. My husband, I'm a father, I'm a friend to some, I'm an acquaintance to many. But ultimately, I'm God's gift to the world to help people understand what their truth is and for them to live in it, because that's the only way to have the most fulfilled life that you as an individual can have. It has to start with yourself, and it has to start with your truth.
All right, all right. So with that being said, so we're gonna get to these talking points. And so I hear a lot of parents out there. I just don't understand what has happened to this generation and what has society done to our children. And because I just put a post up. I said, hmm, let me get something straight. So parents are considered as bullies because they want to teach their children accountability, responsibility, and respect. I said, when did society make this normal? Let's talk about it. And so
Mm.
I just put that post on Facebook, but that post came from me tapping into your dialogue on TikTok. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just to be honest with you, I said that's very interesting to me because I want to know what parents think. And like you said on the TikTok video, you like parenting. There's no blueprint to this.
Nah, hardest
You
job.
learn-
It's the hardest job that we will ever have, ever. Period. Hardest job is parenting.
So okay, so we see what's going on in today's society, and you already stated this. There's no blueprint to it. So from generation to generation, because I can tell you that mom was mom. She'll nurture. She loved all us. But I can tell you that my father was a true man, and tough love was in effect.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what you say, when he said something, it was the end of it. You know what I mean? Like you, you can kind of hear the wall tremble after he say something. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? End of
Mm-hmm.
it. So what has happened to the black culture, to the black community, to the black way of parenting versus when our grandparents and our parents was parenting nowadays parents. So why do you think that the younger generation is so self-entitled and so privileged?
Well, just from my observation, there isn't the authoritative figure is not implementing their power in the way that they should in today's time. We are allowing um, some type of undertone, say fear of reaction or of opinion of others, to be a part of our process instead of taking ownership as well as the consequences that come with taking full responsibility for rearing your children in the way that they should go. There shouldn't be a fear, now, I'm not saying that you should be you should be so strong in your ways that you're trying to mimic, like you said, those old ways.
Mm-hmm.
There should be points taken from that, but we're in a new time now. We're in a time now where we're dealing with, as parents, and I'm a parent of two. I have two daughters there, 12 and 13. We're dealing with a time now where the outside influences are more than just the friend across the street. The outside influences are more than just the kids that they deal with at school. Now we have social media that is a 24/7 influence. Parents have to get creative. You have to start hurting your kids' feelings a little bit of not allowing them to be led by the things that are corrupting them. See, but it's so hard to do it because guess what? We as parents also are being led to a certain degree by the same things. See, we have to learn how to control what we're doing before we implement in what they shouldn't be doing. But see, people don't want to hear that. We'll make the excuses of, and I was a victim once upon a time. Oh man, I'm handling my business. Now I've really been scrolling for an hour. You feel what I'm saying? But see, as an adult, that's an easy excuse to use. I'm scrolling. I'm handling this thing for business. So now you got your kids, they're watching you. See, the thing we got to remember is, as adults, we're the movie. They are the spectators in the stands. What conclusions do you want them to take from what they're watching? And we keep blaming those outside forces for the things that our kids are doing when they're our responsibility. They're our responsibility. My kids are not King's responsibility. They're mine. I have to prepare them to be able to stand in front of you and say, you know what? These kids right here got respect for an adult. They know how to speak to an adult. They know how to carry themselves in a way that they don't have to worry about bad things coming from the way they were while they were here. See, you have to first teach, you have to first respect yourself as an individual. Then you have to respect your position as a parent in order to receive the respect that you need from your kids. But you have to also respect them. So you can't expect for your kids to just bow to your feet all the time, because that's going to create rebellion. We are not at a time now where you can just continuously tell your kids, I know what I'm talking about. You really do, but you don't, because we're in a different time. My heydays was in the 80s and 90s. Baby, it's totally different in 2022. You might give them an opportunity to talk to you. You might learn something. See, one thing that you'll hear me speak on a lot is you have to give your children a voice now. See, I didn't come up where a voice was needed because it wasn't a lot to deal with. It was kind of black and white, cut and dry. It is what it is. I said, don't walk across the street because you're going to get hit by a car. Okay, that was fine. That's not the way it is now. There's a lot of things that I'm oblivious to that they know about. So I like to have conversations with my kids because I would rather them have the comfort to want, listen to what I'm saying, that they want to talk to me. They want to bring me their problems. They want to just be able to say, you know what? I've been having a bad day. I can go talk to my dad and my mom about it. And see, I've done that because I've understood this respect thing goes both ways. See, you can't force something to respect you if you don't respect it back. But see, you also have to remember that even though these kids have to listen to you and they have to follow your tutelage, eventually they're going to be on their own. What do you want them to remember about their raising? Do you want them to remember that they never had a voice? Do you want them to remember that all they heard was, you don't know what you're talking about? I know what I'm talking about because I've been there? Or do you want them to be like, you know what? My mom and dad were pretty cool. They gave me the opportunity to, let them know why I didn't like something. Now, I'm not saying that you got to disrespect me to do it, but it is important to know, baby, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Tell you what, let's have a conversation. Ain't nobody gonna get in trouble here. Nobody's gonna get in trouble here. Let's talk. Now, what's the problem? And they go, we straight, right? We straight. And they go, well, you know what, Dad? You never let me tell you what was going on last night. Last night, you just said, go to bed. You don't know what you're talking about, and I'll see you tomorrow. But Dad, if you had listened to me, you would have understood that it stemmed from something earlier today. And you sent that kid to bed with a problem and an issue that you could have solved before they went to sleep. And you would have been the one regretting it if your baby hadn't woke up to see the next morning. What I'm saying is,
that's deep. That's deep. Yeah, that's deep. That's deep.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel it.
We scream communication, communication. What makes a relationship strong? Communication. Isn't your child and you inside of a relationship? See, people don't think about that because you're rearing them, but it's still a relationship. It's called a father-daughter, father-son, mother-daughter, mother-son relationship. So let's communicate. Because guess what, King? If you don't communicate, what they're going to do? They're going to go communicate with somebody else.
Right. And it's funny you say that because I've had people to tell me, they was like, bro, you got, like, this when I was growing up. I'm talking about 14, 15.
Mm-hmm.
They was like, bro, you got two parents in the home? I'm like, yeah. Like, man. They was like, bro, you so lucky, man. You so lucky, man. They was like, and what you don't know, bro, I can go talk to your father about anything. I can go talk to Mr. Jacob about anything, man. Be like it was like, man, you don't really realize how much he impacted guys our age that's no blood relation to him.
Wow.
And so I get where you're coming from.
Hey, yeah.
I get where you're coming from. And my father passed on in 2015, but I still have people tell me, boy,
wow,
that tour guide you had.
I like the way you did that.
That's why you where you are. That tour guide you had, man.
I like that.
Like, bro, I was like, my father told me at 15 these very first words. He said, son, if you don't do nothing for me else in life, stay out of jail and stay out of hell.
There you go.
And that's the most,
do that.
Yeah, and that's the most powerful thing I think any man can tell their son.
Yeah, that's strong.
Yeah, man. So you definitely hit the nail on the head, man. Nowadays you got to give these kids a voice, cause somebody was like, man, if you don't give these kids a voice, that creates what we call anxiety, mental depression, and emotional depression.
Yes, sir.
And they was like, they're not as. They was like, you gotta realize these children are not built like we was, man.
Oh, you took the word
like they're not built like that, man. Like, we started out young, bro, like young and having real conversations with our granddads and our great uncles and our uncles and our father, and they had you out there working, doing their work, what they was doing and showing you stuff. Yeah. He was like, man, these kids wouldn't know what to do, man. They was like, since you're in the video game era, since you're in the social media era, you got to break it down to them and really let them have a voice. It was like, we knew about racism and we learned about it. He said, man, but these kids just they don't care what color. If it's somebody that treat them right and they treat them right, that's their friend, man. Like, I've heard kids call grown-ups, why grown-ups so dumb? They just leave this racism on their sleeve, man. Like, this is my friend. We've been friends since grade school, man. Like, we don't really care about that. And so kids see stuff so analytical nowadays until you really got to just sit there. I tell parents all this. I said, just sit back and watch. Your kids invite their friends over to your house. Just pretend like you're doing some work on the computer
Mm-hmm.
and watch their social session and watch the things they talk about. You'll be amazed.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be amazed because they talk about real influential stuff that's going on in the world. And I have never seen so many young kids in my life that are so interested into the stock market.
Well, you know, the thing about it is, though, King, it's because of social media. You know, the world is literally in the palm of their hands,
Mm-hmm.
and that people get so caught up in the scrolling. It's not the scrolling you need to be worried about. It's that for you page that
Mm-hmm.
you need to be worried about,
Right.
because they you know, you psychologically, when you hear that something is for you, you're going to
Mm-hmm.
take it a little bit more serious than the stuff that's for everybody else.
Right.
So that's what they do. So yeah, if they're into a certain type of person, now this person is into, say, options on their For You page, they're going to have options on their For You page. They're
Mm-hmm.
going to have people that talk about options. So you're going to be going, man, this kid right here really know what they're talking about. Yeah, to a certain degree, but they're really mimicking what they see that's for them.
Uh-huh.
This is what we got to battle. Because you have kids, King.
I don't. I just mentor a lot. You know what I mean?
Okay. So you'll know exactly what I'm saying. You'll be with some kids, say, just say 3 months. And then you'll see that kid 3 months later, and you'll be like, what you been doing? They've been doing this.
Mm-hmm.
And they so interested in it that they become experts at it.
Yeah. Right.
This is why I go back to the communication, because you are battling a 24/7 facilitator.
Yeah.
24/7 facilitator that facilitates so well when you're not paying attention.
Yeah, it's funny you say that, man, because my homegirl told me this about 3 weeks ago. She said, Jay, my son. Yeah. I said, what you about 16 now? She said, yeah. She said, I wake up to use the restroom and I peek into his room and he on the phone and I could have swore he was talking about a girl. But he was checking the stock because it was morning time in England and
Yeah,
he was on that foreign exchange app, man,
yeah,
and the next morning he got up, he told me to look at this. Here he is, he's up $7,000.
yeah.
And I didn't even know he know how. So his allowance that he was getting, he was investing in forex.
Ain't that
You know
something
what I mean?
special?
I didn't even know that he had contacted a mentor who's into forex, and they showed him the whole game. And once I talked to the mentor, they was like, "Your son's 16 now. If he keep at this, by the time he's 18, he'll be a millionaire."
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
she said, "I had no idea." I said, "Man, listen, that thing that we have on our phone call, our hand call a phone, that's nothing but a mini computer.
That's
That's
all
all.
it is.
It's a mini computer, man. And these kids can work these iPhones and these Samsung Galaxies like it's nobody business."
Like they created them.
Yeah,
But you
man.
know,
Yeah,
and
man.
it's good to hear you give a positive story, because I speak to a lot of kids, and you don't hear many stories like you just told me. You know, and it makes me feel good that this kid has the strength to try to progress through the tools that are in his hand, instead of trying to mimic the things that the tool exploits. You feel what I'm saying when I say that?
I feel
See,
you. I feel you. And Coach Randy, and you know what she told me? She said, I asked him like, so why were you interested in that? And you know what he told her? He said, man, I do not want to work like you and daddy.
Preach.
He said, I want to enjoy life.
I would
He
love to meet
said,
that
he,
man
he
right
he
there.
said, he said, man, listen, I want to be able to give you $10,000 for Christmas every Christmas.
I love it. I love it.
And he said, I just see how our culture works so hard, man.
Mm,
And I see some of the older dudes in the neighborhood after they done worked their job 30 years,
mm.
5 years later, they out of here.
They
He was like,
gone.
I don't want that. He was
They
like,
work
man,
themselves
I
to
want,
death, literally.
yeah. He said, I want to be that dude that come in, check on how my business is doing, talk to the general manager, and tell him I'll see you Thursday at 4 o'clock.
Mm.
Which is very impressive to me, man. And what I'm finding out, this new generation, man, they don't want to work hard. They don't want to work in nobody plant. They don't want to have nobody holding them, telling them what they're doing. They want to create a way for their generation where their generation can make no less than $150,000 a year.
The only thing I'll interject with that, King, and you are correct, is, and if I could give the youth one piece of advice, make as much money as you want to make with these things right here. Make
Mm-hmm.
as much money as you want to make with them. But
Mm-hmm.
understand that you don't control this. Once you start getting your money, or before, however you want to do it, find something that you control. Because if they take this away from you, where
Yeah.
are you then? Where are you then? Now you want to talk about mental illness, brother. If they
Mm.
take this away from someone that has built their life only on this, and they take it away, it's gone now. Where are you now? Now you want to talk about suicidal thoughts, high levels of
Mm-hmm.
anxiety, depression, nowhere to go.
Hey, coach, you there? Hey, coach, can you hear me?
We back.
Oh, we back. We back. Okay, great, great,
And
great.
look, I'm gonna tell you something. That was kind of like, that was actually perfectly poetic. So my phone took over my computer,
Mm.
but the phone ain't running fast enough.
Right, right.
That fell right into place on what we were talking about. Don't let this control you, because it
Right,
just
right,
might slow
right,
you
right,
down. It just might slow
right.
you down. It might even take you out.
That's right.
But
That's
look,
right.
I
I
jump
can
back
dig it. I
into
can
the
dig it.
flow, and we right back
Right,
together again.
right. So I just wanted to chime in on the parenthood, man, and I think the relationship that you have with your daughters is beautiful, and
Thank you.
I think, man, that's a blessing, man, because the way the world is navigating now, um, that fatherhood bond is something that's really, really special. And not only is it special, it's spiritual. For real, for real.
There you go.
For real, for
Yeah.
real. So So, I can appreciate. So, the next key point that we gonna go to, man, we gonna go into the fear of becoming a business owner. The fear of becoming a business owner.
Yeah.
And so, people that's been working on the W-2 type form for a long, very, very long time, which a lot of people don't know that entrepreneurs and business owners get the biggest tax breaks ever, ever. That's the way that's the way the taxes, the bylaws on the taxes are set up. So with that being said, I seen, the video you did on TikTok, and he was like, fear. Why is people so fearful of going on their own and creating their own revenue and being their own boss, or becoming a boss so they can have that time that they didn't have to spend with their loved ones?
Mm.
What is that fear about? And so, Coach Randy, I want you to give us a synopsis on how you break that down when you're doing your speaking engagements.
Well, let's see. I've been doing this thing as an entrepreneur going on 20 years now. And I'll tell you the first mistake I made. I went into it for money. It's not why you do it. See, when you letting that money lead you, you're not learning what you should be learning. You don't go into business as an entrepreneur to make $1 million. You go into it as an entrepreneur to perfect whatever craft you chose. And that will lead you to your $1 million. See, are you trying to make a lot of money? Or are you trying to have a legacy that generates a lot of money? See, I want the legacy that generates the money. See, I don't want to be an entrepreneur just for my moment. I want to be an example to aspiring ones, but I also want to be an example to those that are watching me in my household. But see, the things that you learn, and this is what I want people to understand, the things that you learn when you stop thinking about making the money and you concentrate on what you're doing, you learn the idiosyncrasies that the entrepreneur that started their W-2 job thought about. See, that's the thing people forget about. Those W-2s are actually working for an entrepreneur. But see, nobody even thinks about that. Nobody even thinks about it. But see, they figured out the small things like, okay, so I made $150 million this year. What am I going to do when Uncle Sam want to holler at your boy in January? I'm going to get a whole bunch of employees and I'm going to pay them out of that 150.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'm going to take whatever I didn't spend on them and I'm going to make sure I buy all this equipment, all these supplies. I'm going to make sure the cafeteria got food in it. I'm going to make sure it's this. I'm going to make sure it's that. I'm going to make sure all of my executives have a car and they got a card that they put the gas in the car with. Why do I do that? So that when it comes time for Uncle Sam to holler at your boy, you say, dang, you made 150 and you spent 14999999999. You spent all the money. Yeah, because that's what business owners do. They use the money while they're making it. They don't wait till they get it all, then spend it.
Right.
So you got to put yourself on payroll too. Don't just pay your employees. Pay yourself. Set your salary and pay yourself. Now that all that rigmarole is out the way. See, I've dealt with a lot of entrepreneurs that that'll come to me and they'll be like, Coach, I need help. I'm in this bind. I owe Uncle Sam $13,000. I just paid him $10 last year. And I'm like, okay, why you owe this dude every year? Man, because you know what I'm saying? I ain't have enough to write off. I'm like, look here, let me tell you something. And I got a document, King. And it's a document that I use every year when I get ready to file my taxes. And it has a list of things on it. It's like supplies, utilities, just things of that nature. And at the bottom, it says wages. Now, let me ask you a question. Why is not wages at the top?
That's
Think
an
about what,
interesting question.
think
That's
about
an
what I'm
interesting
saying.
question.
Because nobody teaches an entrepreneur to pay themselves. They just
Right.
teach an entrepreneur that they can get that money. Oh man, I gotta get that money. No, you need to pay yourself from that money and watch your wealth grow. It
Right.
won't grow as long as you eating out of the basket. The basket's not for you. But your fruit comes from those seeds that's jumping out the basket and landing everywhere around you.
Mm-hmm.
That's where your fruit come from. The basket is contained. I don't want containment, brother. I want the world as my oyster.
Right.
So this is the thing that we got to start embedding. This is it. See, people, the fear comes from, what if I don't make enough money? I ain't gonna be able to pay my taxes. What? Do you not know if you don't make any money, you don't have to pay any taxes? Nobody told you that, though, did they? Nobody told you that.
Right.
You can't get blood from a turnip. So stop running from something that you control. But just understand your control also comes from, I made $100. I do need to give Uncle Sam 25 of it today. Not at the end of the year, and multiply 25 times 52. But once a week and be okay with the $75. And then at the end of the year, you're going to be just like Mr. W2. They're going to say, you paid this money in, I'm going to give you a little bit back. Trust me, I know.
Right. I had a white fellow tell me, he said, my family been in business for over 70 years. And the business been passed down generations. He said, but I used to hear my granddaddy tell my daddy, son, you need to start a separate account for your taxes. And say, huh? I was thinking it. He said, I was young, but then when I got older, I said, yeah, I paid attention, and I just used to put about $85 a week in that account just to pay my tax at the end of the year. And he said, while the other business owners was losing, I was winning. So what you saying is absolutely right. Yeah.
Hey, it's simple to me. I learned the hard way, bro. I remember it was 2013. I had to give Uncle Sam, was it $43,000? You hear me?
Oh, wow.
In one day.
Oh, wow.
That next year, reality set in. I said, you know what? It's a payroll company out here that I could pay weekly to take care of everything Uncle Sam. Because see, Uncle Sam wasn't mad at Randy. Uncle Sam was mad at the money Randy made, and then Uncle Sam didn't get what he deserved out of it.
Uh-huh.
His eyes.
Right.
So now I pay a payroll company to handle all that business for me. I put in my salary for the week, click, 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 and they tell me, you need to have this much money in the bank by in the morning. They take that money and they make Uncle Sam happy.
Mm-hmm.
Uncle Sam gets paid on time. I don't even want to wait till the end of the year because, bro, I don't know if you ever had to give somebody that much money at one time.
I can't say I have.
It's not fun. So even saving every week to write a $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 check, nah. There's companies out there like ADP. There's companies out there like Paychecks that you can call and you can let them know I'm an entrepreneur and I need to set my company up on a payroll system. How many employees you got? Well, it's just me. That's fine. How much you want to make? Man, I'd probably be cool with $75,000 a year. Sounds good. This is how much it's going to cost you a month for us to make sure you're good with Uncle Sam. Really? All you got to do is go online and pay yourself every week. And guess what? What's that? You're going to get a W-2 at the end of the year that you can take to your accountant and file your personal taxes. But what about the other money that the business made? Well, think about it this way. How much money do you make? Well, I make about $200,000 a year and I'm paying myself $75,000. Okay, cool. So we're at 125. How much are your expenses? Every year I have about $90,000 in expenses when it comes to gas, buying equipment, buying this, buying this, buying that. So you already at what, 90,000 out of 125. So that leaves you 35K, correct? When
Right.
you rather pay 35,000, when you rather pay taxes on 35,000 and 200,000?
Right.
I think you can survive paying that.
Right.
That's the reality to being an entrepreneur, past making the money.
Mm-hmm.
Because outside, see, we get so caught up in the word entrepreneur, we forget we run the business.
Right.
Get that out of your head. You are an entrepreneur. You're doing your own thing. Now, don't say that anymore. Now you're a business owner. Now run your business as such. And if you do that, you shouldn't have a fear about being an entrepreneur.
Have mercy. Or tell it like it needs to be told. My. My. That's what I'm talking about right there, man. So as I was watching that, man, I said, listen, man, I can see why people come to you for that advice if they want to change their life. Those key points. And then, I hear people always say, Coach, they was like, toxic this, toxic that. So we want to talk about toxic courtship, toxic family ship,
Mm.
you know, um,
Hey.
you know, toxic friendship,
Mm.
you know, um, toxic work environment,
Yeah.
and so we're gonna talk about that first and how it affects people mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and then we're gonna go into the healing process,
Yeah.
how you heal from that. So the floor yours, Coach.
Man, you know where this toxic environment comes from? That toxic environment comes from a person that never puts themselves first.
Mm.
You always trying to please everybody but yourself. But we live in a world where we're always told that you was born alone, you're gonna die alone, you gotta face judgment alone. But the whole time we on earth, we gotta make everybody around us happy. But ourselves. Throw it all out the window when you come to the coach. But I don't want to hear about nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
Because that story shall continue. Your story has not begun. Because you're afraid to start with the first sentence. Because you're afraid of what somebody might have to say about it.
Coach, I just asked myself, do people really understand what having peace of mind is?
Nope, they have no clue. They have no clue of what having peace of mind is. But peace of mind is being okay with understanding that what you believe is right for you might not fit into that circle. And you got to be okay with understanding that I might have to stand alone for a minute. But I'd rather stand alone in peace than to be around a whole bunch of people in chaos.
Right.
And that's honest to God for me. Seriously.
Somebody asked me the other day, it's like, man, Jay, I've been trying to get up with you, man. I was like, man, you just distance yourself. I was like, well, as you grow older and you start understanding life, and you start understanding how you're supposed to hold value into yourself.
There you go.
And how you understand that protecting your peace is necessary.
Yeah, necessary. Good word.
It's necessary. And so I was like, no, bro, I just been doing me, man. I got a couple other things going on, and it values my time. And when it's valuing my time, sometimes you have to close yourself off from people to understand who you are, where you're going, and how you need to get there. Sometimes it has to be all about you.
There you go.
And that's a part in protecting your peace.
There you go.
And having that spiritual energy that's going to guide your footsteps.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, You make me think, man. I just never thought about it that way, and maybe I should start thinking about it that way too. I
But
said,
you know what, King? I'm going to cut y'all, but I want to jump in here and say one thing. You know the problem with what's going on? We were taught that being selfish is wrong.
mm-hmm.
Oh man, selfish is like they basically deem selfish a sin.
Yeah,
But how can you be the best version of yourself if you don't be selfish enough to say I'm worth the time?
right.
You got to I always I preach controlled selfishness.
Mm-hmm.
You got to understand that it's okay to erase all the crap that's going on to concentrate on yourself. Because one thing that's going to happen for sure, brother, if you run yourself crazy and you leave this earth, the world's still going to keep going.
Yeah, yeah.
You're going to have a moment where people are like, oh, Lord, I miss him. But then Monday come around, they got to go back to work, bro.
Right, right.
And that grief going to have to get put to the side for a minute because I got to get my money. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to be cruel or hard in that scenario, but I got to keep it 100.
Right.
Your time is only as valuable as that when you have it in your hand. How long are you going to allow yourself to get? See, you can get that broken relationship back. You can get that opportunity back. You can get that chance back, but you can't get your time back. When are you going to understand that the most precious thing that you have is the one thing that you neglect the most? Your time.
I say that time that's wasted is a neglection of your purpose.
You better preach it, brother. You said a mouthful then.
Yeah, man.
You did. You said something then. But I was a victim, sir. I was
Me
a
too.
victim. I'm not perfect. Before Truth Coach Randy became the true Coach Randy. Not the one that was excited about holding the title, but the one that understood what title I was holding. I was that person, brother. I was that person, but I thank God for my wife because she refused to allow me to live in that place. And she taught me through her example how important it is to understand the importance of your own time.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, I tell people all the time, I was that people that was always passive. I was like, I'm gonna keep them in prayer. I was that person that always was like, you know, how would I like for somebody to do me like that?
Mm.
So I'm gonna help this person. But then I come to feel out like, what is the story? Like, why does this person keep doing that person like that? Or why is everybody else the problem?
Oh, Lord.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I just had to look back and say, you know what? I'm gonna let them do what I did. I prayed about it. I asked God to guide my footsteps, and I'm gonna see if they really listen to God.
Mm.
And so, if you don't listen to God, ain't no way you're gonna listen to me.
Facts.
You know. So sometimes you gotta, if you let people talk enough, and you just have a listening ear, they gonna tell you everything you want to know,
Mm.
and you're gonna find out everything that you didn't know.
There you go.
And then, you know, if you still make that decision to go on as you have been, then that's nobody's fault but yours.
Boy, I love
Because
it.
because God gave you all the signs.
Mm-hmm. He gave you all the
Yes,
signs.
yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir. So
I love it.
so along with that, man, you know, the toxicity, you know, how do people heal from the toxicity?
Man,
Like
see,
what's the healing process?
this you see how big my smile got, because then ultimately that's, if it's not about healing, it's not about anything. And and you use the word story a lot, and I like that. Because in my process, I always start with the story.
Right.
I always, but the purpose of that is I don't want to hear that version that you watched. I want to hear the version that you lived.
Mm-hmm.
Because the version that you live holds all of those roadblocks that need to be wiped away to lead you to healing.
Mm-hmm.
See, we get so caught up in everybody else's feelings, everybody else's thoughts and opinions, that we will neglect our happiness to ensure that they're good. How can you heal if you live in that place, sir? You can't. So,
Right.
with my approach, the Sims approach, it starts with this story. And we take this story, and the best way to show you how healing works is to use myself as an example. So I went through my story and I started picking those things out of my story that were affecting me today, that
Mm-hmm.
were affecting my relationship with my wife and affecting the way I was raising my kids. And I was like, why am I this way? It's because I was see, misery loves company. Bad things are easy to carry. Good things are hard to keep.
Mm-hmm.
So I would bring that bad baggage with me. The things that I didn't like when I was a kid, I was implementing into mine because that's all I kept on my mind. I had to first face the fact that, you know what, Randy, you weren't good with that. Understand how to take those things from your tutelage. I'll tell you like this. We all went to school. We all went to history, math, English, social
Mm-hmm.
studies, you name all that good stuff. But everybody had a favorite subject, correct?
That's right.
Did anybody get mad at you because you didn't talk about the other ones? No.
Mm-hmm.
So why do you have to carry all of your baggage with you? Choose the things that are going to be beneficial to you. Learn from the things that you did not think were beneficial to you and then make them better. Don't neglect them, make them better. Make a
Right.
change. We
Right.
all have a vision of where we want to be, but you have to be the one to take the steps towards your vision. If you want to be healed, face the things that have you in your bad place. Stop waiting on your apologies. Stop waiting on the sun to shine on this place and grow something from the concrete when it's not going to happen. Make the change yourself, no matter how hard the decision is. No matter how hard the decision is, no matter who you have to face.
Right.
The worst thing that could come to me is to protect someone and then be mad at them when they're gone because I never confronted them about what they did.
Mm.
Think about what I'm saying.
Mm.
How can you?
That's accountability.
There you
That's
go.
responsibility, and that's respect.
There you go. And we all need to live in that space. So once you get to that story and you find, let's just pick one thing out of our story. I don't want you to flood your mind. I want you to take it one step at a time. And let's face that. And let's implement in some change. Let's implement in some change. So you were Randy. So I was raising my kids in the same way. I was telling my kids, be quiet. I know what I'm talking about. I've been here. I've already lived that life. And my kids would shut down on me. So how does Randy implement in change? Come here, baby. Let's talk. I was rough on you yesterday, but you know what? You still upset today. Why are you upset? Dad, I'm upset because you kept shutting me down. You wouldn't let me talk. I mean, if you just listened to me, you would have seen why I did what I did. I didn't do it because it was bad. I did it because of this, this, and this. And I'm like, dang. Lord, thank you for giving me an opportunity to talk to my baby. Why did I say that? Because if I hadn't had the opportunity, I would have still been with that same pain that I had when I woke up in the morning because my baby was still upset.
Mm-hmm.
So in the sales approach, we got story, implementation, then we got manifestation. So what did I just manifest? I just manifested a better relationship with my daughter.
Mm-hmm. Because you wasn't narrow-minded or closed-minded, you still gave her that voice.
There you go. And from that manifestation, I now become a light to my other daughter because she gets the confidence to say, I'm going to try that now. I'm going to go talk to daddy. And the
Uh-huh.
last S is the where the healing is seen. So see, when you go through a story, you implement and change, you manifest a difference, you show the world that you're a new version of yourself. And you don't have to go backwards to say, this is what I did. They saw the process. They knew who you were, but they know who you are now. You now become an example of change, and you become an example of healing.
It's
So,
funny you say that because people will see you and they'll be like, man, how you doing?
yeah.
What's going on with you, man? Man, how you been?
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing good. Man, you got a glow about you, man.
There
You
you
didn't
go. You
have
better
that
watch.
glow 2 years ago, man. Man, God must be doing some remarkable things in your life. I like to really sit and talk with you, man, and see how I can get that glow on me like that,
There
man,
you
because
go.
I need to go to the next level in life, man. And
Yep. Yep.
I would definitely like you to share some things with me.
There you
And
go.
people just tell you that out the blue because they can see that light within you.
There you
See,
go.
see, people think the light gotta shine on you, but the light
Mm.
gotta shine within you.
There you go. There you
You know
go.
what I
It's got
mean?
to come
So
from the inside out.
that's right. That's right. That's
The
right, man.
outside light is superficial.
That's right.
That's
That's
superficial,
right.
right?
That's right.
Yeah. See, you really shining when you're smiling by yourself.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
You
That's
just
right.
happy.
That's right.
You just,
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So and people can see that, like people really can see that healing process,
mm-hmm.
and and once that healing process resonates with the world, that light gonna forever shine. So I tell people always understand, no matter where you're at in life, get that baggage off you.
There you
Stop
go.
carrying that dead weight.
There you
Go
go.
through your healing process, and you gonna see what what the greatness is going to be. God gonna put
Mm-hmm.
something in your life that's so great to you gonna have that glow, and it's not just gonna be a normal glow. It's gonna be a spiritual glow where you
Mm-hmm.
can inspire to stay to become inspired. You know what
There
I
you
mean?
go. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So we have to uh self accountability is the biggest recipe to
Woo!
winning.
Shut your mouth, boy.
It's the biggest recipe to winning, man.
I'm
Winning, man.
trying to
Self
tell
accountability,
you.
man. And coach, man. And I just say, man, keep inspiring. You know, keep on, helping people, man, and man, keep that vision alive where people can really understand that just cause I'm not your family don't mean I can't help you, but you
Mm.
got to have a listening ear in order to receive that help.
See, family has nothing to do with blood. Those are relatives.
Right, 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 right.
Your family might come from across town.
Mm-hmm.
Your family at the end of the day, just because blood's running through your veins, they still got to earn you. Your
That's right.
relationship. They still got to earn your relationship. Don't just
That's right.
give yourself unto because of a obligation. It needs to be earned because if not, it will be disrespected.
That's right. I tell people all the time, appreciation involves good relations.
There you go. There
You
you
know what I
go.
mean? Yeah. So
Man,
yeah,
this is
coach,
good,
man.
King. King, I
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah.
you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So I want you to tap in with everybody and let them know where they can reach you at through the social media and through your websites.
Yeah.
And then we gonna say peace and love. We're gonna get out of here.
And look here, I make it simple. See, I don't need you to think too much. I need it just to be there. So you can find me everywhere. Truth Coach Randy. That's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and on the web. It's truthcoachrandy.com. And the one thing I like to leave everybody with. Remember, don't find comfort in the lies. Always seek freedom in the truth.
You heard it first. Chatterbox with King Jacob, featuring none other than Coach Randy, man. Hey, I want to thank you for coming on. It's been a great dialogue. And Coach, I'll definitely be in touch, man. Stay blessed,
Yes,
stay
sir.
passionate,
Yes,
live
sir.
with purpose,
Yes,
and
sir.
God bless you, man.
God bless you.